this is my control panel. It's a cPanel control panel located here at Bluehost. cPanel is an open source control panel that many web hosts use. And Bluehost is a fairly popular web host. You can use any one of a number of hosting places for hosting Joomla websites. Lots of people host Joomla sites here at Bluehost. SiteGround is another one. Rockin, HostGator is very popular. WiredTree is popular as well. So these are some places you can go to host your Joomla website. And here in the control panel, we're going to start by uploading the zipped file that I generated, all of the Joomla files that are compressed together. And I'm going to upload these to the server. So I'm going to scroll on down to find my files section of the control panel. This may be in different places depending on which web host you're using. And I'm going to click on the file manager icon. And I'm going to go ahead and open this. And I'm going to locate the place where my web hosting is located. Mine is a little bit different here with Bluehost because this is a multi-account configuration. Generally speaking, when you log into the control panel here and you go to your file structure for your website, you'll be looking for a folder called public HTML or www, and usually that's where you're going to put your website. So I'm going to scroll on down here and find my folder. And so here I am. This is where my website is going to live, right here. And as you see, I have a bunch of files that are located here by default. If you really wanted to, I suppose you could hang on to these, but they're not really doing anything right now. It's just showing that there's a placeholder for this web hosting. So I'm going to delete everything that's here. You can leave the CGI bin folder, but delete everything else. Go ahead and hit the delete key and delete those files. Now I can go ahead and upload my zipped Joomla file. So I'm going to click on my upload button and I'm going to browse to my desktop to find the Joomla zipped file and say open. And this is going to go ahead and start uploading for me. And that'll take just a second. Great, so my zipped file is now uploaded. I can close this tab. And if I hit reload, I'll see my zip file right here inside of my web hosting. If I select that now and say extract, this will extract this file right into my web hosting directory. So I'm going to go ahead and say extract files, and this is going to go ahead and do that for me. There you go. Now all my files are extracted. I can say close. Remember to hit reload, and that will show you that we have Joomla's file structure here in place. So we've got our files. The next thing we need to make sure we have in place is our database. So I'm going to leave the file manager open. Don't close it. Switch on back to your control panel tab and find the database portion of your control panel. We're going to click on the MySQL database wizard icon. And we're going to walk on through the process of this particular website. So here we're going to enter a name for this database. And then I'm going to go to my next step. That will create an empty database for me. And then I'm going to enter a database username and password. Remember over on MAMP and WAMP, our database username and password were root and nothing on WAMP and root on MAMP. And that's not necessarily a good thing. That's very insecure. It doesn't matter when it's running on the computer that's in front of you. But of course, when these sites go online, it's very important to make sure you have a secure username and password. So I'm going to go ahead and enter that here and generate a password. Then I'm going to go ahead and say create user. And so this is confirming that I have created a database username, and a database password. My last step, I'm going to assign all privileges to the database user. Check this off and say next step. And it will tell me that, hooray, you have added a database user to a database. So everything is good. Now what I need to do is go to phpMyAdmin and import the information to the database that I just created. So I'm going to go back to cPanel, and I'm going to scroll down to the database section here in cPanel, and I'm going to go to phpMyAdmin. Go ahead and click that. And this is going to ask me for a username and password. Some web hosts do this and some web hosts don't. Depends on your web host whether you'll be asked for a username and password or not. But either way, you'll wind up on this screen in phpMyAdmin. Find your Joomla database over here in the left column and click on it. And when you click on the name of that database, what you should see is absolutely nothing. It should tell you that there are no tables found in the database. So what we're going to do now is import that information to this database. Very simple. We click on the Import tab right here, and we're going to browse on our computer for that joomla.sql file. So find that and say open, and then we're going to go ahead, scroll down to the bottom and say go. And that will import all of the database directly here into our new database. And you can see all of the tables are listed over there on the left column. Okay, great. So we have all of our files in place. We have our database. It's populated with information. We're good to go, right? Well, not quite yet. When we were in our WAMP and MAMP environment, we had a different database name, database username, and database password than we do now. And so we need to make sure that these two entities can talk to each other, Joomla's files and Joomla's database. And that is done through the configuration.php file. So the last thing we have to do is edit that. I'm going to go ahead and close this tab for phpMyAdmin. Back here in the file manager, I told you to keep it open. What we're going to do is we're going to scroll here, right here in the root of your website, right in the public HTML or the www folder. If you scroll on down and find configuration.php, click on that and then click on the edit button and say edit. The configuration file is really just a long string of variables, and we're just going to edit some of these variables now. Specifically, we're going to edit the user, the password, and the database. They're right here, these 3 lines. MAMP people, you may have a password. WAMP people, you probably don't. So now we're going to go ahead and edit this and change it to the information that you just created. And you did save that information, right? This is a great time to open up that password manager and make sure that you've entered all of the information that you need to run this website. Someplace secure. I like PassPack. All right, so I'm going to edit this now. And when you're done editing, go ahead and say Save Changes and then Close. Now, if all has gone well, if you've entered the correct database username and database password and database name, which sometimes is harder than you might think, when I open up a new tab here and I go to the URL for my website, which in this case is joomla.kineticoinc.com, my website should come right up for me. And I should be able to navigate right on through this website. Everything is all good and available here. Hooray. There is one change I need to make after the fact, and that is down here on my login. If I click on this, I am going to log into the website. I'm going to log in as Joe, J-O-E, with my password of 123456, and I'm going to hit the login button. And notice what just happened here. Do you see the URL at the top of the screen? I just went from my external website at joomla.kineticoinc.com, and I've been redirected to localhost. What just happened? Well, what happened was when we put together the login configuration in ACL, we specified an absolute path back to localhost. We need to make sure that we fix that right now. We can see the website here, right here on our screen, but nobody else will be able to. They'll get a 404 error when they try to log in. So to do this, I'm going to hit my back button and make sure I'm back at joomla.kineticoinc.com. I'm going to open up another tab and I'm going to go to, once again, joomla.kineticoinc.com/administrator. And I'm going to log in with my revised username and password. And now I'm going to go to Menus, Footer menu. I'm going to go to my login and I'm going to change the URL here under Advanced Options for my login redirect from localhost to joomla.kineticoinc.com. And I'm going to say Save and Close. So now when I go to my home page here, and now when I scroll down to click on Login, and I log into the website, it looks like I'm actually logged in here. So let me log out real quick. And I log into the website with Joe and my password, 123456, and I hit Login. Now I am, in fact, redirected to the distributors page. It is the correct URL, and I have my For Distributors page, and I have my Edit Your Profile link. I am going to leave Joe here as a login, so if you want to come to joomla.kineticoinc.com, you can log in as Joe123456, and you can see Joe's account here. But I am going to turn off the Edit Your Profile link so that you can't change Joe's information and Joe's password, which you would be able to do if you logged into this website. So congratulations, you've just launched your first Joomla website. I hope you feel as good as I do.